Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I am your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, ROH Supercard of Honor 2023 is officially in the books. Quite a wild event, with some surprises, some shocking finishes, but a very wild event. We're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it. But first, I want to let y'all know to check out the link in the description for Game Beauty for an awesome lineup of video game themed makeup and cosmetic products. And if you see something you like and want to make a purchase, use the promo code BlitzballChamp for 10% off of your order. You know, nice little discount there. Good to get good use. All right. Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor 2023 took place at the Galen Center in Los Angeles, California. And it was quite a show. It was really quite a show, a very enjoyable show that got pretty wild. So let's get into the matches. We had four 0-hour matches, so technically pre-show matches, and they were pretty solid. They were really, really solid. First off, we had a singles match between United Empire's Jeff Cobb taking on Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Nice little opening match. Definitely like both these guys. Saw a lot of Hot Sauce Tracy Williams years ago back in ROH. Even got a chance to see him wrestle live a few times. Of course, he was part of the Lifeblood stable for a while. But Jeff Cobb, Hot Sauce, definitely went at it. It was good. It was pretty solid. I enjoyed both competitors. But when it was all said and done, Jeff Cobb picks up the victory after not too long ago picking up a victory over Moose at the Impact NJPW collab show. He picks up another victory by pinning Hot Sauce Tracy Williams after hitting him with a Tour of the Islands. So, crowns up, Jeff Cobb with the victory. Okay, next up, we had a really, really solid singles match between these two very powerful yet athletic wrestlers. We had Konosuke Takeshita versus Willie Mack. And just wow, these two went at it. I mean, we saw hard hitting, we saw agility. I mean, it was like they were trying to one up each other, you know what I mean? And just, you know, both of different sizes, but man, just I'm once again reminded how agile Willie Mack is, who I used to see a lot back in Lucha Underground when he was the Mack. But dude is very agile. Also, always considered him pretty popular. I always loved it when him and Rich Swann would team up. And then, of course, Konosuke Takeshita, who's been killing it ever since he started his excursion here in the States. And I tell you, both of these guys clashing in this match was quite a treat. It was quite a treat. I mean, they were hitting each other with everything, power, agility, the works. So this was a solid match. But Takeshita picks up the victory after hitting the running knee strike on Willie Mack. Covers him for the 1-2-3. But solid match from both of these competitors. I would not mind seeing them run it back. Would not mind seeing a rematch between these two. That was a great match. Okay, next up we had the ladies in action as we had Willow Nightingale taking on Miranda Alize. Now, don't sleep on Miranda Alize. Remember, she was once a finalist for the inaugural ROH Women's World Championship that, of course, Roxy ended up becoming the first champion. Not to get confused with the Women of Honor Championship. You know, it was a different title. But don't sleep on her. But Willow Nightingale's been doing her thing, you know, ever since becoming part of AEW, and has even been getting a lot of opportunities in ROH, as well as being able to travel to Japan. Of course, she got a chance to compete for TJPW, so that was really cool. So Willow Nightingale, she's been tearing it up. Everywhere she goes, she's been tearing it up. You know, that was one wrestler that I was really happy to see how well she has recovered and bounced back from the big, scary injury, the scary neck injury she once suffered. So I'm just really happy that Willow Nightingale has bounced back, and she's been doing great. She's been doing really great. Solid match between both of these ladies. Of course, the crowd was greatly behind Willow Nightingale, and she ended up getting the victory after hitting Miranda Alize with a Dr. Bomb and picking up the 1, 2, 3. Good, solid match from both ladies. Definitely enjoyed it. And then the final match of the 0 hour was another singles match, as we had the Dark Order's returning Stu Grayson taking on the Trustbusters' Slim J. Now, speaking of Slim J, that's another one. Don't sleep on him. I actually got a chance to see Slim J wrestle live through an old PWX show. Pardon me. But yeah, I got to see him wrestle live before. About a year or two ago. I think it was 2 years ago. But solid. Solid in the ring. But definitely these two looked great. And definitely back and forth. You know, I felt like it really could have gone either way. And I know Ari Daivari was in Slim J's corner. Evil Uno was in Stu Grayson's corner. And just, you know, we had quite a match between these two. Really could have gone either way. But the Dark Order reigns supreme, as Stu Grayson was able to pick up the victory after hitting Slim J with the Nightfall. So, very solid match. And then afterwards, the Righteous makes an appearance. Dutch, Vincent. Now remember, these guys were former 2/3 of former ROH World 6-Man Tag Team Champs. So, what a return for the Righteous. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. You know what I mean? I guess maybe they're going to feud with the Dark Order. We'll have to wait and see, but that was quite a return for the Righteous to close out the 0 hour portion of Supercard of Honor. All right, now we get into the main card of ROH Supercard of Honor, and it started off with an absolute explosion. 1 second. I need to take a sip of coffee after that. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Ooh, that's good. All right. This pay-per-view opened up the main card with the AAA Mega Championship match, as El Hijo de Vikingo defended the title against Komander. I'm going to tell you right now, especially for those that may have just stumbled across this video for the first time, or stumbled across pro wrestling for the first time. If you have never seen Lucha Libre before, ever, this is definitely the match. Like, current modern day, this is the match to definitely see. This was a Lucha Libre clinic from start to finish, with as very little error. Very minuscule error. These two put on a Lucha Libre clinic. The crowd was so into this match from start to finish. These two were flying all over the place. The spots, the dives, the flips, the springboards were crazy. My only thing was, I really hoped, I was really kind of feeling for Vikingo and Komander as Komander took that springboard 630, which was supposed to go through the table, and the table didn't break. So I can imagine that had to hurt like crazy. I mean, just, whew. The spots in this match were insane. But that is Lucha Libre at its finest, if you ask me. Between these two, I was just like amazed throughout the entire match. Like, these two were insane. The only thing I can say is y'all have to see it. Y'all have to see it. I mean, check out the archive. Maybe they'll eventually upload the match on YouTube. Whatever you got to do, y'all need to see this match. Lucha Libre at its finest. Y'all need to see this match. This was an insane Lucha Libre clinic. Vikingo, Komander, AAA Mega Championship, Supercard of Honor. Do it. Do it! Vikingo does pick up the victory after hitting Komander with the 630, pinning him for the 1-2-3. Great sign of sportsmanship from both competitors after the match. But Vikingo still retains the AAA Mega Championship. So, quite a way for him to bounce back, especially after losing the dream match to Kenny Omega on AEW Dynamite. But man, that was a very enjoyable match. Okay, next up we had the ROH World 6-Man Tag Team titles on the line as the champs, the Embassy, the Machine Brian Cage, Khan, Teolioa, I think I said his name right. Toa Lioa. Defended the titles against AR Fox, Blake Christian, and Metalik. This was definitely hard-hitting, back and forth between both these teams. It was a solid trios match. Very solid trios match. And, you know, AR Fox, Metalik, and Blake Christian got off to a hot start. Got off to a really hot start, you know, with the high flying, you know, trying to get the preemptive strike. And, you know, it worked for them for a while. It definitely worked for a while. But you know what? The embassy hung in there and just was able to finish strong. Like, it could have gone either way, but they just were able to finish strong. And Brian Cage was able to seal the deal, hitting Metalik with a drill claw, then pinning him 1-2-3. And the embassy retains the ROH World 6-Man Tag Team titles. And I know there was a lot of speculation whether Brian Cage was going to leave ROH or AEW or whatnot, but I mean, with them retaining the titles, I'm guessing that maybe his contract's being renewed or whatnot. I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. But Embassy, still champs. Okay, next up we had the ROH Women's World Championship match. As the champion, Athena, making her 7th defense against the magical girl Yuka Sakazaki, who just recently became a 3-time Princess Tag Team Champion. So she had the opportunity to get more gold in this match. And I have to say, this match was very solid, although I was kind of scared for Yuka because, you know, she did that springboard somersault senton, and it looked like she landed on her head, but she rolled at the last minute and she popped up and she was fine. But it looked like she almost landed on her head. But even a couple of those spots, I mean, you know, when she got tossed back, it looks like she hit her head hard at least a few times in this match. And I just kind of felt for Yuka, because I'm like, dang, man, she's going to mess around and end up getting a concussion. But thankfully, she was all right throughout the match. But, man, just... Yuka, don't let Yuka's size fool you. That girl can take a beating. Like, I don't know if she's had a history of concussions or whatnot, but Yuka Sakazaki, don't let her size fool you. She is a gladiator. Yeah, she might be short, but that woman is a gladiator. She can take some punishment. Gotta give credit where credit's due. But both of these ladies looked really solid. I mean, it was back and forth. Really told a good story, especially with all of the buildup they've had up to this match. But after a slight distraction from the referee that Athena used to her advantage, she was able to catch Yuka with an eclipse as she was on the ropes, as she dove off the top rope, was able to catch her with the eclipse, because it looked like Yuka was going for either another Magical Girl Splash or was going for the Magical Girl 450. But got caught with the eclipse, and Athena pins her 1, 2, 3, still your ROH Women's World Champion. So that's 7 successful defenses for Athena. And, you know, she's been on a roll. And speaking of which, word is that apparently Miyu Yamashita will get a rematch for that title on next week's ROH TV taping. Yeah, that's right. Now remember, Athena has beaten her before back in, I believe it was Prestige or Progress, one of the two. But, you know, that's 3 Joshis that Athena has defended the title against. She's beaten Miyu Yamashita once. She just beat Yuka Sakazaki. And remember, just earlier this week, she beat Emi Sakura. So, Athena's been on a roll, but at the same time, she has experience battling Joshis like throughout her career, especially in the indies. You know, she has a lot of experience there. But yeah, Athena, still your ROH Women's World Champion. She is on a roll, but it looks like Miyu Yamashita is gonna get the run back. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, next up, we had the ROH World Television Championship on the line, as the champion, Samoa Joe, defended against Mark Briscoe. And I have to say, this match went hard between both these competitors. The chops, man, I felt like the chops sounded like gunshots between Mark Briscoe and Samoa Joe. I mean, the striking and the chops were crazy loud. And you know what? These men definitely brought their A game. And I mean, Samoa Joe even got a nosebleed during the middle of the match. But both these guys just going at it crazy. And Mark Briscoe came close. He came really, really close. He showed a lot of fighting spirit in this match. But Samoa Joe was just too quick ahead of Mark Briscoe. Took a few coquina clutch attempts, but was finally able to drop him down with one last coquina clutch. And he passed out, therefore awarding Samoa Joe with the victory, as he still retains the ROH World Television Championship. You know, A lot, and I could tell a lot of folks were bummed. I honestly thought Mark Briscoe was going to pull it off, but just not quite yet. And you got to give him credit for the sportsmanship shown to Mark Briscoe afterwards, but just couldn't quite pull it off. And I know Mark Briscoe's family was there, and he got a good pop from the crowd, and showed them some love. But I think eventually Mark Briscoe, he's going to eventually get that title. He's going to get that title. Just tonight wasn't his time, but he put on a great fight. I know that Jay Briscoe is proud, so he'll eventually get that title. Just not tonight. Okay, next up, we had a special singles match. We had Jericho Appreciation Society's Daniel Garcia taking on the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Hiroshi Tanahashi. And you know what? I got to give Daniel Garcia credit. Dude was hanging with Tanahashi and was even mocking him a couple of times, really trying to take it to the ace. And he did well. He did really well. And you know what? This was a big opportunity for Daniel Garcia, and he definitely took full advantage of it. I mean, he got to wrestle the ace. That's a big deal. But at the end of the day, the ace was just a little too much for Red Death himself, as Hiroshi Tanahashi was eventually able to put away Daniel Garcia for the 1-2-3 after connecting with the patented high fly flow. And Hiroshi Tanahashi is your winner. So that's 2 big victories for Tanahashi, because remember at the Impact NJPW collab show, he won in the main event, defeating Speedball Mike Bailey. So two back-to-back big victories for the ace. Okay, next up, we had a really great match, but not without tragedy. We had the Reach for the Sky ladder match for the vacant ROH World Tag Team Championships. We had the Lucha Brothers versus Top Flight versus the Kingdom versus Aussie Open versus Rush and Dralistico. And I have to say, this match was a ginormous spot fest. Of course, very entertaining. And just all 5 teams looked really solid. And just the action was nonstop. I mean, we saw chairs get involved, ladders, tables. Just very chaotic match. And just the spots got crazier and crazier. And then the unfortunate happened. So, man. So as Penta El Cierro Miedo, on top of a bridged ladder in the ring with 2 stacked tables outside of the ring next to the apron, he connected with a Canadian destroyer that he hit Dante Martin with. But on the way down, Dante Martin's ankle, pretty much bent and turned completely in the opposite direction. It looked very sick, very nasty. Just his leg just pretty much went totally facing the other way. And of course, medical team immediately went over to Dante. Like, they saw it immediately, and he ended up getting stretchered out. And Lucha Brothers did go on to win the match. Ray Phoenix was the one that took the titles down. So, congratulations to the Lucha Brothers on becoming ROH World Tag Team Champions. But I really, really feel for Dante Martin. While it looked like Top Flight was really getting going again, especially ever since Darius Martin recovered from his injury, his 2 injuries, and then, of course, had the car accident. And then Dante, I know he had an injury before as well. So just Top Flight has dealt with some injury woes. And this is even another big, major setback for Top Flight. Because now Dante, it looked like I think the word is that it's a broken ankle. But honestly, the way that it looked, it's going to take some time. I mean, I'm no doctor. I'm no surgeon. I don't know what the diagnosis is. But the way that foot and ankle looks, yeesh. I have no idea how long that's going to take to heal or, if he'll bounce back. But honestly, it's really unfortunate. Because, I mean, Dante Martin, he's only 22 years old. He's young. He's young. So it's just another major setback for Top Flight. And honestly, I was really hoping Top Flight was going to win this match. I was really hoping they would win this match. Because I felt like they were long overdue for a tag title. But now this just makes it even worse for them. So, prayers going up for Dante Martin and Darius as well, because that's his brother. That's his brother. Just they've had some setbacks. And just when they were starting to get into a groove, for a couple of months, ever since Darius came back, they've been looking strong, getting back into the mix of things, but that's why it just goes to show, even high flyers and just in general, these are professionals. That's why they say don't try this at home. So many people want to say, oh, wrestling's fake and scripted. You can still get seriously hurt. Your career can end like that. A bad botch, a bad spot, something goes wrong, your career can be over like that. Whether it's in a match, whether it's during training, it doesn't matter. So it just pains me when you got so many people, oh, pro wrestling's fake. That still doesn't change the fact that you can get seriously hurt or your career could be over with the worst kind of injury. So my prayers are going up for Dante Martin. Speedy recovery, and just, take your time. Really take your time. I mean, I say speedy recovery, but realistically, take your time. I hope he'll be all right, and I hope that he'll be able to come back and continue his career if he chooses so. If he chooses so. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really up to them. Because at the end of, the main thing that's important more than them, entertaining me is their health. Their health comes first. So, prayers going up for Dante Martin. I've met him before. Great guy. And I hope the best for him, and I hope that he can recover and continue his pro wrestling career if he chooses so. But like I said, Lucha Bros are your new ROH World Tag Team Champions. Next up, we had the ROH Pure Championship on the line, and of course a Pure Rules match. As the champion, Blackpool Combat Club's Wheeler Yuta defended against the wrestler himself, Katsuyori Shibata. And I have to say, Shibata looked in pure form in this match. And don't get me wrong, Wheeler Yuta, he brought it. He brought his A game, did some dirty tactics, tried to get the edge on Shibata. And you know what? It was working. It did get to a point where it was working. Wheeler Yuta was doing his thing. But Shibata showing why he is the wrestler, why he is one of the best, and he laid into Wheeler Yuta, kept on him, kept the pressure on, and when it was all said and done, one final devastating PK to Wheeler Yuta. 1, 2, 3. And Katsuyori Shibata is your new ROH Pure Champion. Wow. It's crazy how things can turn around. We're talking about the same Katsuyori Shibata that had a devastating, life-threatening injury from a really sick, nasty headbutt in the match. I believe it was Sakura Genesis from 2017, if I remember correctly, where he headbutted Okada and just, oh man, it messed him up. I think he scrambled his brain, had a really nasty brain bleed and then some against Okada. Was able to finish the match, but oh man, he needed medical attention immediately. Wasn't sure if he was going to make it or ever be able to return. But here we are to this day, and Katsuyori Shibata is back and is your ROH Pure Champion. Congratulations to him. I'm very happy for him. Very happy for him. And you know what? I hope he has a good run. Hopefully we see more of Shibata in action. And hey, ROH looks like the place to be for him. So hey, I love it. I definitely love it. So congratulations to Katsuyori Shibata. Great match. And then the main event was for the ROH World Championship. As the champion, Blackpool Combat Club's Claudio Castagnoli defended against Eddie Kingston. And of course, this match was fiery and hard-hitting from start to finish. I mean, these guys really told an awesome story in this match. And we're talking about over 15 plus years of build-up to this moment. This was big between Kingston and Castagnoli. Really, really big between these two. And it all came out in this match. And Eddie Kingston had massive fighting spirit in this match. I mean, he was kicking out of everything. I mean, he hung in there. He was loopy a couple of times from all the strikes and the European uppercuts. But he hung in there, kept kicking out of everything. And he had an incredible Frankensteiner reversal of the Ricola bomb. And I thought he had it. I really thought he had it. But then, during the pin attempt, Claudio was able to reverse it into a pin of his own. Was able to keep the legs down. 1, 2, 3. And just by the skin of his teeth, Claudio Castagnoli retains the ROH World Championship. And it looked like him and Wheeler Yuta were getting ready to do a post-match beatdown on Eddie Kingston. But then Katsuyori Shibata came out and stood by Kingston's side. And could this possibly mean that we could see Claudio versus Shibata ROH World Champion versus ROH Pure Champion. That could happen. That could happen. But what a main event. What a main event. But I have to say, overall, my favorite match was definitely the AAA Mega Championship. That was definitely my favorite match of the whole card. But overall, great show. Did a great job. And yeah, that will conclude this video. Don't forget to check out Game Beauty. And let me know what y'all's thoughts are. What did you think of ROH Supercard of Honor 2023? Did you think it was a good show? What did you think of the matches? Did you like the card? Did it match your predictions? And yeah, let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this content. For another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. My name is Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed weekend. And I will see y'all in the next video. Laters.